Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to Double9Radio.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
How are you doing today?
Oh, good. I'm just cool.
He's just cool. Ladies and gentlemen, if I told you who I have on the radio today, you would wonder why am I not jumping on the table and running around the room, because I have a legend here here online on the radio with us today to share some fantastic, great things about him as well. I'm looking forward to the interview. But without further ado, not to keep my listeners in suspense, because I've been in suspense. I've been looking forward to this interview for about, I think the first time we confirmed that you're coming on, I'm thinking, am I going to sleep? This amazing gentleman is coming on. How am I going to even be able to conduct this interview? But here we are today. Can you tell us, who do we have on the show today?
My name is Paulplay, Dairo.
Paulplay, oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? That's Paulplay, Dairo, the one and only Paulplay, Dairo, the one that they describe as the African babyface. Amazing individual. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Double9Radio's fashion, entertainment, lifestyle show today on Double9Radio, broadcasting live to audiences around the globe as well. I want to say thank you for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you taking time out to come. Wow.
You're welcome.
But I'll be very curious. I want to ask this question, but I think probably a lot of people should know this answer to this. But maybe some people have been living in caves. Who knows? But just for the people, just for people who might be living in caves or who are not sure who this legend is that we have on the show today, can you tell us who is Paulplay, Dairo?
Paulplay Dairo is a Nigerian musician, songwriter, producer, record label owner. I'm a Christian, also a mechanical engineer by profession.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, he's very modest in that. You can hear it in his voice, calm and collected. But when this guy actually goes on the microphone and sings, I'm going to be playing some of his new tracks. I've been blown away. It's been on repeat all week since I got this amazing opportunity to listen to the music, But we will get to that as well. So, Paul, thank you again for coming on the show. Paul mentioned he's a record label owner, singer, songwriter. He forgot to mention a legend, multi-award winning individual, recognized.
That's for you to say.
That's what I was to say. He's recognized, globally as well. But I've always wanted to ask, the play in your name, what does that stand for?
Yes.
What is that? Is it like a short form of a name, or what is it? What is play?
That name was given to me by my friend. We used to be in the same group together, Mr. Slam, way back in the late 90s. What I do most times when I'm in the studio is I try as much as possible not to take everything seriously, so that's actually get my kicks.
Yeah.
To be able to, get my creative, mindset going instead of being too serious in the studio. Way back then, it takes a whole lot of money to, you have to pay for sessions, and for you to do 8 sessions or do 8 hours, which is a session, is very expensive. So, but I always want to play around, but at the end of the day, I get the job done. So, he noticed that, and he was saying that, Paul, why don't you just stop playing? Just stop, just play. Stop, just play. So, Paul, stop, just play, stop messing around. Play,
Right. Right.
Oh. Yeah, that's how the name got stuck with me, yeah.
Amazing. Paulplay. Look at that, and it's doing great things. That's really nice. That's really a good backstory on that one. For who don't know, I'm sure you know now. So you mentioned it's quite important for you as an individual who's very creative as well. When you're in the studio, you like to be in a relaxed environment so that creativity can just come out naturally. But also, what inspires you when you are in that mode to write music, or what inspires you as an individual?
Well, funny enough, everything inspires me. I might be watching a commercial on TV, and and some kind of tune would just, pop out of the commercial, and I just run to my workstation, which is actually very like the next room to my bedroom, and, start putting things together. I get inspired by almost everything. God inspires me. Friends inspire me. Stories that I hear from people inspire me. There's so much in the world, there's so much going on in the world, to get you inspired. So it's not really, really far-fetched when it comes to being inspiration. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you started singing from the age of 11, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I think that's amazing. That is such an amazing thing to do. I mean, so with that, how long would you say, it's been in the entertainment industry now? How long have you been?
Professionally, I would say 20 years.
Wow.
Okay, professionally, but I've been doing that before I started professionally. I've been, working with studios in Lagos, advertising agencies, TV productions, film productions, soundtracks for movies. I've been doing that on the ground before I decided to go into this professionally. I started as a producer initially before I thought, hey, I can do this too, and see other people on stage like, yeah, I think I can do this. I can sing and I can play instruments. So why don't I just get on stage and just do what everybody else is doing?
Amazing. I mean, you started producing and writing songs at 19.
Yes, yeah.
That is such a... I mean, at 19, people are, boys at that age, I think...
They're younger. Younger producers these days, but, back then...
Magic
for you to... Yeah.
Back then, you're all you're thinking about maybe is movies or trying to be some, superstar or superhero, or even thinking about girls or something, You would never think of starting to produce and write songs. I think that's quite amazing. So how was the early stages of you being in the industry? The early years of finding your feet in the industry. How was that? Was it quite difficult? Was it quite easy to do?
It was very difficult. I can remember back then, my late brother and my late cousin, we used to be in a group called Le Griff.
Okay.
We used to perform at Night Shift nightclub back then, and basically we were doing R&B music. Every other person was doing Nigerian music, highlight music, reggae music. Reggae music was big back then in Nigeria, but what we were doing was R&B, which wasn't really popular amongst Nigerians back then. So by the time we go on stage to perform, because I was actually, when I leave school, weekends I'm in the club Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So like back to back, performance. But a few people who actually understood who like R&B, Nigerians never really had that, much interest in R&B music. So we just get kind of scanty, applause and all that. We just kept going. So it was really difficult. And back then, if you walked into a club, it would be, it would be difficult for you to get to listen to Nigerian music back to back. It was always, the likes of Jodeci, the likes of Boyz II Men,
Soul to Soul,
Soul to Soul, in the 90s. So it was really difficult because Nigerians really didn't, we're not listening to Nigerian music back then. They prefer to listen to, music from abroad, but we were just trying to do our best to make sure they listen to us. So after listening to all that, you now listen to, want to listen to a Nigerian R&B group. That was like, wow, okay, yeah, they're just trying to be, these are just wannabes, and that's what that's what we are seeing, like, just about us, like, we're just trying to do what we're not good at. But it was really difficult. And when you go, like all the radio DJs and some of these very OAPs that are very popular that people listen to a lot.
Yeah,
they don't get to play Nigerian music, and when you get to when you talk about their top 10, you don't get to hear Nigerian hip hop artists. It's only the local one, and like the most popular radio show back then was JAJ Top 7 on Reading 93.7. You can never ever hear any Nigerian jam on that top 7.
Can you imagine? And it's a Nigerian station as well.
Yeah, so it was like, like foreign songs, rap music, R&B music, soul music, and all that make the top 7, because that show was basically for R&B and hip hop music. So it was really difficult. Nobody plays Nigerian music in the clubs. Because they were playing, when it comes to party scene, you get to listen to Sonia Day, and because the party scene was different. People tend to listen to highlight music and juju music, Fuji music. So like people are playing local music where really, they're really, cashing in, because that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been really challenging that, with people just tagging you or labeling you as someone who's just trying to copy something.
Yeah, it was like, no, why are you trying to do this thing? Because this is not you. Like, you're trying to be somebody. I'm like, I'm black, man. So black people play R&B music.
Exactly.
And these people came from me.
Yeah.
They left Africa. Because when they left Africa, I think what they had in their DNA, I still got it in my own DNA
100%,
as well. So
100%.
So I can actually relate with what they're doing. And, like one time I was actually watching Quincy Jones talk about rap music, and he said, do you know that rap music came from Africa? There's this kind of connection, that we have. And so for now, it's playing out that in the kind of, the music that we listen to, this that we call Afrobeat, there's a mixture of R&B, hip hop, everything. It's got everything inside of it. So, and people are embracing it internationally. Even Black Americans are embracing it. So it's like there's this kind of connection. But there, nobody was seeing that as they just see that, look, you're trying to be R. Kelly, or you're trying to be Joe, or you're trying to be Jodeci, you're trying to be Boyz II Men, but
yeah, I mean,
we just didn't give in,
You're
right. We didn't just listen to what they were saying back then. Yeah,
you're quite right. I mean, I watched an interview you did quite a couple of months or years back. I can't remember exactly when, and you kind of like broke down the sound of Burna Boy, of all the infusion, of what was does Afrobeat, does a bit of reggae. There's a bit of, I mean, you broke it down so well. I mean, I was blown away. Like, okay, wow, he is truly a producer. He actually knows what he's saying, and for us, for people back then who could identify with what you're doing, they'll probably look back and say, wow, Paulplay was actually doing all this back then. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Which is quite remarkable. And what it says that, good music is timeless. You still,
true,
your
true.
Moshori Ray track,
yes,
amazing. That I can't ever forget that one.
Thank you.
Angel of My Life, which I know you did a remix, and I will come to that as well. But I mean, your new music, I don't even say the name yet. You would think I'm actually making this up. I'm not. I've been playing that track like all week, and for me, I don't want to even go there. We'll get to it. But let's talk about how you got to your first single, the first one you released ever. What was that journey like?
And that was when I got a record deal, it was in I think the format for music release in Nigeria we're not doing singles. We just come out with an album.
Okay.
I just hope that everything works right for you. You can't compare what was going on in America. Back then, they come out with a single, and, the next thing, you get the whole album. At least have an idea what the album is going to sound like, because you have a few singles out before the real, the whole, album comes out. Yeah, so I actually did, there was a long journey before I got signed. I did a little bit I was a member of gospel group in Abuja, Pure Heart Impression. I had joined like 3 other R&B groups before. The first one with my late brother, my late cousin, No Grief. From there, I joined North Soul, the Clan. North Soul had Slam. I'm sure some people will know Slam and Freaky. Then we had Swaves. Then the last R&B group I joined was Oxygen. Before I now decided I left Oxygen to join Pure Heart Impression, which was a gospel group.
Okay.
And while I was with Pure Heart Impression, I was asked to go to Lagos. Then I had already produced Tony Tequila's album. Tony Tequila's album was there. I was, the first thing I did was like, Kenny and D1 were the big guys.
Yes, Kenny's music.
They were like, Kenny's music was like let's say Motown, Nigeria's Motown back then. So everybody, if you don't do Kenny's music, you're not gonna be up there. So then I was working with Shell. So my first approach to actually getting to be close to Kenny Ogungbe was I did a recording of AIT Jams Montage. I just did the opening track for AIT Jams and took part of my salary and just did it and went to him and like, oh, so I did this for you, and like, oh, you did this for me, and he said okay. And when he was gonna get back to me, he was so excited that this is really good. So that was how I got a leg in.
Oh wow.
To get to speak with him and have a one-on-one with Kenny Ogungbe. And then he was so excited that he brought me on the show with the other guy that featured on the track with me. And it was like, man, these guys are great. Last week, I got a whole lot of people at the studio waiting for me to produce them. So I made a lot of money back then. It was like introduction into the music industry for me. Although I've been there before, but getting to meet Kenny Ogungbe actually opened up the whole game. And so after that, I joined. It was easy for me to go back. When I joined Pure Heart and Pressure, it was easy for me to go back to him. I said, okay, I have a new group. I'm working with a group, and he knew that I was the one that produced Tom Tequila's album on Kenny's music. So it was easy for me to get close to him and just tell him about the problem that we had. But 3 years before then, I had recorded Moshorire.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, Paul, so he took the album off me and, he put the stuff in the machine, CD machine I was playing. He was like, yeah, it's not bad, good song and all that. But, Paul, don't you have what you have done? It's like, don't you have something that you have done for yourself? Like, for myself, well, I have this song right here in my CD.
Yeah.
I have this song, my father's song, my father's song that I did my own version of it. I played it for people. I even took it to Sony Music. Sony Music rejected it. Instead, they were asking for my father's music. I took it to a few of my father's friends, and they were like, "Oh, this is not good. This is horrible," and all that.
Can you imagine?
But okay. I was very reluctant to actually, bring it out. I said, "No, bring it out. Let me see it. Let me listen to it, Paul. Let me listen." I said, I'm not sure you'll like it. He said, no. Let me just bring it out. I've been for music.
Yeah.
So I gave it to him, and the next thing I see was just, was bopping his head and was like, like, this is good. I'm like, good? It's good?
Amazing.
It's really good. This is really good. The next thing he did was check the music out. Normally the radio station, how it works, if you want to test run a song, you put it on a machine that is not actually on air.
Yeah.
Then what he did was he just, he took it off the machine and went straight on air and slotted the CD. And drew the microphone to himself and said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Ike Dairo.
Amazing. And
that was it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. I mean, you mentioned about your dad's music there,
yeah.
It must have been quite challenging trying to break away from that spotlight because everyone would.
You're right.
Because everyone would think
right.
Paul Dairo. I mean, even some people probably still mistake you for probably him and say, okay.
Yeah. Some people call me Ike Dairo. I'm like, wow, Ike Dairo is gone, man. So,
do you know what I mean? How did you deal with that? Breaking away from that.
Yeah, when I got signed on Kenny's music wanted me to be like, something like my dad, because I'm not gonna blame them for that, but I felt that it was a good marketing strategy for them. So they named me Paul Ike Dairo, or I would just wanted to be Paulplay Dairo, or I just wanted to be Paulplay,
Yeah.
I said, no, Paul Paul Dairo so that people, your father has a lot of fans, so and that really worked out. So I allowed, sometimes you don't want to be too,
exactly,
want to be Mr. Know-it-all. You don't want to act like you know everything. So I just allowed them to roll with that name, Paul Dairo, although I didn't like it. So, so Moshe was the bomb, and that was how I, the first record was a big hit, and and after that, people were like, because I did like 2 tracks that had Ike Dairo's influence in them. Moshe Millennium Dance had Ike Dairo's kind of style of music. So, and those were the biggest songs back then. I had Happy Day on that album as well, but Moshe was the biggest song. So everybody, and then there was this kind of, critics come up with, on paper, on magazines and saying, well, this guy is not really good. It's just because of his father.
A lot of critics would say,
If it wasn't for his father, I'm not sure it's going to be, any of that. So that was really, I was like hitting someone below the belt. I really felt it actually affected me emotionally.
Oh, wow.
And I made up my mind that, well, I was going to prove these people wrong because I never wanted to be this. And my record label forced me to do this, but it doesn't mean that I couldn't do my father's music. But even though I can't really do my father's music the way he did it, because my father was a multi-instrumentalist. My father used to play talking drum, he used to play keyboard, he used to play guitar, he used to play, so many instruments. Like, wow. So I don't want to put me in that, in that box. So I just want to, step into my own shoes. I don't want to, take that. I want to be seen as a son, but not holistically, like,
not just replicating. You're on your own person.
Yeah. So what I did was to actually shut them up was the Hitsville album, which was the full R&B album.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that R&B album, it was just straight English.
Yeah, after that, the critics actually, at least this guy actually is there to stay, So they gave it. The critics actually gave it to me, and I got my respect from that.
Fantastic. So, how would you describe your music now?
My music still remains a cocktail of genres. I spoke with a younger musician, like A-list musician, and it was like, Baba, I don't want to mention his name, like, Baba, just do you, everything that do everything. So, I don't want to be, seen as someone that is trying to change what I used to do, because I still have those fans who listen to highlight music. I still have those fans who want to listen to R&B music. And so I just want to be everything that I used to do, that I'm known for, is what I want to do. So I can't really, I actually picked this from Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is the kind of artist that can do anything and get away with it. Michael Jackson could do pop, he could do rock, he could do R&B, he could do soul. He does everything. So, I actually perfected that because I was a producer. I got to produce a whole lot of artists that was playing juju music, highlight music, R&B music, hip-hop music, gospel music.
All types.
So it was easy for me to just say, okay, well, I can fit in this, I can fit into that. So I don't want to be seen as a hip-hop or Afro hip-hop musician or this. I'm just a musician.
Fantastic. So, basically. For over the years, that as you mentioned earlier, from Kenny's music, where you got that big break, where he played it on the radio, to where you actually came up with your own album to shut the critics up, how would you say your music has evolved over the years till this present day?
I'm a kind of person that I'm very dynamic, because I listen to a lot of musicians. I listen to the past songs. I listen to the classics. I listen to the songs of today. Sometimes I'll just go online. I'll be looking for 2020 hit songs. What are they listening to? Maybe the music ear has actually changed. People are actually listening to something different. Nobody's listening to, So I still know that there are some people who are they are classic people. They still want to listen to that old vibe. So I ask myself questions. I look at an artist like Bruno Mars. I say, what's making this guy tick? This guy is doing 70s and doing 80s songs. So how come he's still making it big? Look at somebody like, Kanye West.
Yeah.
He takes beats from the 70s, from the 60s, and he still turns it around, and he comes and look at someone like the artist like The Weeknd. So I really want to put myself in that kind of, look, I don't want to be seen as somebody trying to be a Chris Brown, but I want to be an artist that I can roll like in my own way, but, be current with what is going on, but at the same time maintain my identity as a musician of, for what I'm good at. So it's difficult. It's more or less like an experiment, but it's not good to just be stationary, to be locked in one kind of style. And so even currently, from the new singles that I released this year, I decided to open up to ideas from other people, from other producers. Someone like Cheesy, who actually is a producer, big time producer. He's worked with Dairo, worked with so many other artists. So it's like a brother to me. It's like, Cheesy, what's up? What's new? Then Noso Amadi is also one of these young cats that's very good that I respect so much. So I'm like, oh, guys, what's up? What are you doing over there? Send some beats to me. Let me hear what you have. Yeah. Then just being very open and very being I don't want to be like a reservoir of intelligence, or a reservoir of creativity. Just being very open-minded and
amazing.
trying to learn more. Yeah.
The new music, the three singles that you released as well. I think how you describe the evolution of your music actually reflects in the music itself, because they're very different and they all sound amazing, and they're very relevant to this
exactly
time.
Exactly what I said. I just said that now that I'm working with other artists. I've got an EP. I'm working on an EP right now, and and then the songs on the EP, I'm not going to be the only producer on those songs. Okay. Just to have a bit of a fresh ideas, but with the same Paulplay. But some people call me. I listen to my fans a lot. Some people call me and say, "Well, Paul, that style, the way you used to sing, oh, it was wonderful." So you just get caught in between all those things. Okay, how can I mash it up? How can I, just be a little bit of this and a bit of that? But sometimes it's just good to be yourself and try and fix like what I did with Noso Amadi. I was looking at, okay, I'm not the kind of artist that sings pidgin so much, but I sing Yoruba. Yeah, I sing Yoruba and I sing in English. So, but for me to do, something like, I know they chop, I know they, it's like people are like, Paul, what's wrong with you? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to, yeah. So then I try. So when I listen to the song and when also said the beat to me, I'm like, okay, this is the way I can go about this. I think I just need to be me on the song and try to have a bit of, this new school Afro pop or whatever in it, and it worked out.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, on that note, we're going to go for a short break, and I'll be playing all the tracks that Paul just released. I mean, my favorite one, I will tell you after the break, but I love them all as well. I'll be playing the first one, Angel of My Life, a remix on that one. Trust me, it's amazing. After you listen to this, make sure you're streaming it as well. It's available on all platforms. So stay locked on, stay locked in. It's your host, Double9, on Double9Radio. Hello, welcome back, Paul. Amazing tracks, amazing singles. You got me dancing in the studio and singing along as well. I mean, especially the last track as well. I think that is just wow. That is just a work of art there. Like, it's just amazing because as I was saying as well, it's a prayer, it's an uplifting track, it's a joyous track. It's just amazing. I actually like it as well. For the non-Yoruba speaking individuals. I'm sure a translatory one will be coming out on maybe YouTube on a platform soon, so you can follow the words. But the melody for me is just amazing. It's just amazing. Again, Paul, thank you for coming on the show today. Really appreciate your presence.
My pleasure.
On the show. Pleasure. Okay, so let's talk about a bit more about you as a person. There's been a while that you kind of like maybe took a long break from music, and people were wondering, where's Paul? Where has he gone? Is he gone to the moon? Has he gone to Mars? Has he left us here in Nigeria? What has happened? Well, we're able to track him down, but we found him. See, Double9Radio, see what we do for you, my listeners? We found him, and we brought him here. So, Paul, why the long break in music?
Wow. Sometimes I can't really explain why. But one of the reasons was my situation with, that I was my health challenge that I had.
Okay.
That was early 2009. I actually traveled to South Africa to shoot one of my videos, Delicious, for my song. I just found that I was,
ill. You just found out you're ill
actually,
during the production?
Yeah, I was ill. I was, immediately after the production of the video. So eventually I was told that I had tumor on my kidney.
Wow.
So, and I was shocking. I got myself together, and it was so bad that my doctor told me that I need to get it out within a week.
Wow.
So that if I didn't get it out within a week, the tumor might just spread to other organs, and then there won't be anything that to just pray for me. So I felt like it was I couldn't do nothing than to just wait back, stay back in South Africa. I had the surgery in South Africa. My whole plan for the album release was actually, taken away by, that sudden, sort of challenge. So, so when I go back to Nigeria, I had like so many shows that I've been paid for, and I couldn't do those shows. I had to start returning the money. And, I found out I couldn't even go on stage to do anything. So that, it took me so many years before I could actually get myself back. I actually had a tour. I was supposed to go on a tour to the U.S. To do like 4 states in the U.S. And
amazing.
The health problem came back again, and so I was just kind of depressed because of the situation. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go on stage because my doctor actually warned me that it wouldn't be nice for me to just go on stage and something happens.
Wow.
So that was the main reason why I decided to stay off stage for a very long time. Which is quite understandable.
And I think you've done remarkably well. To come back from there. Because you're probably at a stage of euphoria where you're about to launch a great album there, and you have this such depressing news where it just kind of like turns everything on its head, and the amount of mental state or the mental state you must have been then when the news came. Some people might not even ever come back into music. I think you've done remarkably well to be able to come back, and I think, even though you could correct me if I'm wrong. Would I be right in saying the track Guidance, which is the last one I played, that's what inspired that track? Because for me, that's just amazing.
Yeah. Wow, you're a prophet.
I think I'm getting the vibe of the legend.
Exactly. Because when you listen to that part of the track, it says one year more shot back, one year more shit, and sometimes I get to hear people say a lot of things about me. Oh, Paulplay is an old school artist. Paulplay is done. He doesn't have any talent anymore. His music is over. His career is over. So that's what that was. One more shot back, they say, Paul is just, he's an old school artist. He's done. So I get to hear that a lot because, and when you actually, you're not feeling too well.
Yeah.
You're sick. And you get to see that on the you get to see that on social media, you get to hear about that on social media. It's kind of depressing. Then you feel okay. So I don't even want to do this anymore. At least I've been there, I've done that. So what the heck? So yeah. So basically, I was And meanwhile, I was really active, but I wasn't active mainstream.
Okay.
I was doing parties. I was doing events. I was still traveling outside the country, doing events, weddings, birthdays, and I was actually a judge on Star Quest for 3 years.
Okay.
But all the while, people didn't know I was still managing my health situation back then. They didn't know. They just saw me and But just trying to manage. Sometimes you don't have to tell the world what you're going through.
Of course.
And so you just manage through. And sometimes people will feel like, well, why is he acting like that? But they don't really know what you're going through. So for so many years, I got into other things, doing other businesses, but I was not doing mainstream music. I tried to keep away because at one point I just said, okay, well. But I did, I was doing some things on the ground. I was releasing tracks online, just like that, just to keep up appearances.
Yeah.
And, 2016, I went to the UK and did a video of one song, Full in Love. Yeah, I did that. I just put it on there. And that didn't go well because, I was like, oh, well. Some people even had some... the video is bad, it's terrible.
Everyone, they always have something to say. Everyone has everything to say. Do you know what I mean? But they never try it out to see how difficult it can be.
Yeah, what is, you cannot compare today's world or today's generation to the generation that we had back then. Then we didn't have social media. So it's like everybody is just some kind of music guru or music critic out there. So when they this is not good, this is terrible, So I now discovered that, I'm actually releasing this song to a new generation, compared to the people that, that I had that were actually, listeners in the 2000s,
Did you find that as a challenge? Was that a challenge, in trying to evolve your music to definitely. That I'll be lying to myself. It was a challenge because I can do stuff like misogynistic kind of lyrics that talks about women parts and stuff because I'm not known for that. Yes.
And I'm not a kid. I'm not a baby. So for that kind of statement to be coming out, that kind of lyrics to be coming out of my mouth will look a bit odd for
raise eyebrows.
It's like, especially my fans. So I can't do stuff like that. So this is the music of what they're doing now, what everybody's listening to now, the kind of lyrics they're listening to now. Music that says all stuff about women, and women really love it. So
it's really good. It's really good. Okay, I mean, you've been called the babyface of Africa. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm not. Should I say I'm not a boastful person? I don't, say things that I can do this, I can do that. I don't go out there to just say what I'm about. When people say I'm babyface, I say thank you very much because I see it as a huge honor to be compared to somebody like Babyface because Babyface is one of my mentors, one of my inspirations, musically. So I see that as a very, very big, it's a big honor, for me to be called Babyface of Africa or Nigeria, whatever.
Okay, Paulplay, Babyface of Africa. That's it. I've said it. I've said it, and it's sticking. That's it.
Thank you.
So the Angel of My Life, a remix was done, and I think amazing remix as well. But what inspired the choice of actually remixing that because Angel of My Life was amazing. The original version, great. The remix is amazing as well.
Yes, I listen to my fans a lot.
Okay.
And you know, like these days, I'm not much of a social media person. You know, with Twitter, I'm never there. Facebook, I do more Facebook. I do more Instagram. But Instagram, I just got myself to start, you know, getting engaged. So when fans, you know, send me DMs and they say, "Wow, why don't you do this?" Well, then maybe at first I say, "Okay, I'll give it a try." Then I go back and just, you know, think about it again and say, "Well, it's like what this person is saying makes a lot of sense. Maybe I should try it." So there was this fan that's always on my case. It comes, "Baba, we're not going to do all these remixes. God, this new generation don't know this song, so you need to do a remix of all these songs."
Wow.
So I said, okay, yeah. So what was this time that he came and said he's going to be angry with me if I don't do it? I said, okay, chill. So what I did was call a few of my people that are close to me in the game, or the young, you know, record executives and, you know, industry guys, industry heads that I respect. Someone like Bankuli, you know. I'm like, okay, well, so Bankuli, what do you think about this idea? I said, well, nah, Baba, yes, and more, you know, this thing is going to work. Let's do it, you know. Yeah, it sounds like a brilliant idea. So let's get to work. So then I was thinking, okay, I can't just do this remixes without having, you know, to, you know, feature people. And you know, these days, people just come on social media and say, "Why don't you do a song with Wizkid? Why don't you do?" They think it's that easy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not. You know, it's very, very difficult for you to just, you know, for your own people to approach the artist. Even when the artist is like, "Oh, you're one of the old dogs," you know, you're one of the, you know, yeah, maybe, you know, there's this kind of, you know, I don't know.
Label.
You know, I don't know what to call it that. Yeah, all this, you know, label, you know, choices, like, okay, well, I want to do this, or maybe not now, maybe next year. So I wasn't really ready for that. So I was actually going for people that, you know, my idea was just to work with people who do the kind of music that I do, you know?
Yeah.
So Runtown has been the kind of artist that I love listening to. I love listening to Runtown songs because the guy seems to be on another level, you know. I don't see Runtown as an artist that is just added for the, you know, for the setup, you know, this guy is just on point. Every song seems to hit it for me, you know. He does it for me all the time. So I told Shizzy, I said, "Shizzy, what do I do? Do you know how to get to Runtown?" I said, "Well, Runtown's been looking for you all over the place. He loves you, and he loves your music, you know. So, Baba, you know, it's not going to be difficult to get Runtown." So, just like he said it, so I put a call through to Runtown, and it was like, "Do you know what? My favorite song that you ever did was Angel of My Life." So it's about like, "You're bringing this thing to me." Now, I was even thinking of doing a remix of this song before. So within 24 hours, we had the beat, and Runtown got back to me. You know, he did his own beat and sent it to me. I took it to the studio. We just, you know, mixed it and sent it for mastering. Then, you know, it came out, you know, big. And, you know, the streaming was wonderful because, you know, I didn't expect it to just, you know, go up like that. And everywhere was like, wow.
It is amazing. And that's such a great story, you know. That's such a great story behind that, because this is someone who loves the music. He's been thinking of how to even do a remix, and you bring it to him. I mean, he must have been like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it." Amazing. I mean,
so the same thing with Nosso, and, you know, with Nosso Amadi on the Kolo song, and he was just it was in London. I think, you know, he came to London. I was actually with Bankuli, actually hanging out, and he was saying, "Man, I like Paulplay. Paulplay is this, that, blah, blah, blah. That guy was fantastic. He used to do this, you know, actually, you know." So we're just saying, going on and on about me. Then Bankuli went like, "You know, do you want to talk to Paulplay right now?" Are you serious? Yeah. But Kuli just put a call through to me, and that's how we got talking. I said, okay, can we do something together? And he said, he said, he's down,
no need to ask.
That. He's down with it. So,
you know.
yeah, so that's how we hit it off, and we came out with Kolo, which was,
amazing.
So far the biggest song so far.
Very good, very good. I mean, you mentioned Babyface as one of your musical influences.
Yeah.
What other artists or what other personalities influence your music?
Yeah, look, we're not going to leave here today because it's long. I've got a long list.
Is it? I can guess one. I can guess one.
The funny thing about me is that I listen to pretty much everything that is music. You will not, you'll be shocked that I listen to Chinese music.
Wow. How does that sound?
I listen to anything. There was there's one time I think I was in Romford, and one of the malls, and there was this, all these hallways on like the back street where you have all these people selling the music on the street.
The market.
American Indian people with a pipe, they were playing an American Indian song. You know what I did? I told my wife that, what, I need to buy this music. So I bought it for £10.
Wow. Oh my God.
I took it home and I was listening to it. I was like, man, this is amazing. She was looking at me like are you serious? Yeah. So, aside, Babyface, I love Babyface because Babyface is a fantastic songwriter.
Yeah.
I love Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder is amazing. Everything about Stevie Wonder is like magic to me. Because I actually, to the extent that I bought some of his lyric books, I bought some of his chord books, I was so inspired by Stevie Wonder that I used to be in my those days in church. People walk up to me and say, "You sound like Stevie Wonder." I said, "Really?" I said, "No, I need to put it down." Yeah. So Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. R. Kelly to me is like, man, I'm not talking about the personality, but R. Kelly's music is awesome. R. Kelly is one of the most prolific R&B writers I've ever listened to. Yeah, so
okay.
Pretty much those people actually do. Then my dad.
Exactly. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, is he gonna say it?
My dad, it's by default. Like, if you have something at home, you don't really like check for it like that. I say, hi, it's my dad now. So so I don't really. Okay, well, my dad is actually an influence on the high life music side because I don't sound like nobody in my high life songs. I sound like I do. It's just like I'm actually replicating, his style of music. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you enjoy most about being an artist? Like, what's that satisfaction for you?
I enjoy the money.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I enjoy the traveling. The hotel thing, then your fans come in, we can't wait to see you, and at the end of the day, having a very good show, having, a fantastic outing really, makes me happy.
Fantastic.
And makes me want to do more, yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, we talked about your creative process earlier on the show.
Yeah.
So when you're creating music, producing, what's that personal goal or the purpose that you want to see achieved by your creation?
Yeah, the thing about music these days is that, you're trying to be very, you're trying to sound commercial. Then, back then, I play music. People play music straight, right from the inside, like, for my creative room or my creative space, I can create music, and I bring something from the inside of me, and I want the world to know what's inside of me. Then the world will appreciate what is coming from my, that creative process of bringing something out. This is the way I want to sound. This kind of music I want to do. But today, you really have to look out there and say, what's going on out there? And because of the way music, the industry has actually changed the whole game. And it's like, what do people want to listen to? It's not more like you selling, you're selling peanuts, or you're selling ice cream, or you're selling what flavor of ice cream will people like. You do your survey. So music is more of more manufactured, I would say, than back then when people just come, like, you listen to Anita Baker.
Yeah.
And Anita Baker is just doing what Anita Baker is.
Exactly.
Like Anita Baker is looking over Whitney Houston's shoulder
You're
to
right.
see what Whitney is doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Whitney Houston is out there now, or Mariah Carey is out there. Everybody's just doing who they are. But right now, you get to listen to everybody wanting to say, okay, if somebody comes up with a big song, I want to do, or I want to match that, or I want to do something that's like that, because I feel that's what the people like. So music today is more about what people like, not what comes from the inside, that creativity in you as an artist. So for me, I still want to be that artist, but at the same time, I want to go along with, because I won't get, the kind of promotion, or I won't get the kind of deal I want to get if I don't listen to these new guys who believe that's what happens, and still like guidance now. That's from inside. That's from inside. That's me.
That is you. I love that, because it just feels pure.
So now the Kolo song is like, oh, that's what people are vibing to now.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I say I want to do everything. So my creative process I'm a very stubborn person when it comes to creativity. I just want to be myself sometimes. But at the same time, I want to listen to you, because you're my record executive, or you're the one that is paying the bills, or you're the one that is sponsoring the song, or you're the one that's marketing the song, just to make you happy. But I'll always say, okay, you need to give me my space. I need like 2 or 3 songs in this album to be me.
Fantastic.
Then the rest I can give to you. So that's the way I go right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, the Guidance track, I think, is just amazing. I just love it that it's a prayer. It's uplifting. It can get you into a good mood. It's just amazing. Easy listening as well. And, I think it's a great track. Anyone out there, or my listeners, make sure you just go on any platform, type in Paulplay, and all the tracks will come up. Make sure you're streaming it from today. They're all amazing, and he's back with a bang. Definitely do follow that. And also you can find him on Instagram as well. Do make sure you follow him as well. So you talked about collaborations just a bit earlier, that yes, it can be quite difficult to collaborate with just anyone. But if you used to pick or choose from the vast amount of, artists out there, who would you choose and why?
I chose it one time. I just know somebody, because even before I got this guy, I actually wanted to, because I felt like it was okay for me to do something, because they do something that's very close to what I do. I'm looking at, I'm looking at Tenny. Tenny is one of the I want to work with as well. Yeah. I'm looking at Simi. I'm looking at Adekunle Gold. I'm looking at Wizkid.
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking at many. Like for me, if you're doing something like that, then there's this new girl, Thames, and I just think the girl is amazing. I like people that are very unique, and I like Yemi Alade. I like Tiwa Savage. Anybody that is doing the kind of music that I can do.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Work for me. Yeah.
I think everyone you just mentioned there kind of like would go along with the type of music you make and the type of flow.
I don't want to forget somebody, Burna Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
Versatile.
Versatile. I like Burna Boy, yes.
Versatile guy. Okay, fantastic. Great. So, okay, now you've seen it all. You've been there. You've done that. You're still doing that as well. from a vantage position, if I can put it that way. I mean, what advice would you give to the current and the next musical generation?
Well, the advice I would give to any young musician right now is to understand one thing. To put your music out there takes a lot. You need to spend a whole lot of money to promote the music, to market the music, and to get the music to actually take the music to places where to people that want to listen to it. Because today it's pretty much expensive because of people I call the OAPs, the DJs, radio station, TV station. It's not easy because the game is really fast right now. But yeah, without looking at all that, I think the most important thing is to have a very good product. Because if you've got a good product, it's not going to be very difficult for OAPs or DJs to pick your song. Just make sure you concentrate on the product. And you need to have a very good perspective as well. Because I see most musicians that think about the money before they, actually get there. So what's on their mind is the money. They are not actually perfecting their act and actually getting their acts right before they get there. They think about the cars, and all that before, concentrating on the work itself. Good product, good perspective, and then you should be prayerful. I believe in God. I'm not saying everybody should believe in God, but God works for me. And so if anybody's a Christian out there, I think you should hold on to God more because it works wonders. And for me, He has, yeah.
Amen. I concur. I definitely concur to that as well. He does amazing things as well. He does amazing things. Okay, so we've talked about your career as well, the evolution of Paulplay. You've just given advice about the young artists as well, which is very important. The marketing and what they need to do, and also keeping themselves in prayer. But if we look at the entertainment industry as a whole, I'm just gonna kind of like focus on the Nigerian entertainment industry for now.
Yeah.
What do you think is lacking within that industry with regards to music?
In terms of production or in terms of the business?
I mean, as a whole, because the reason I ask is...
Okay, yeah, I think people still don't understand the music business like they should. I think everybody should go and, register for Music Business 101. Because I've seen so many cases where producers come out to call out artists for taking their beats and not paying them, and back and forth with some kind of, calling themselves names and, all kinds of, fight going on. And, this artist accusing the other artists for taking his song and all that. I think we don't have entertainment lawyers. We don't have good IP lawyers in the game. So when what I say to, I had a situation back then. This young artist, I will not mention it, this young producer, who was a very popular artist back then. I don't want to mention names. So he was like, man, he gave me a call and said that where he produced this song for this big artist, and is wondering what he should, what advice. I said, the advice I have for you is to go and publish your music because you're the producer. So you need to protect your production. Protect it because you are the producer of the song. I said, was it work for hire? He said no. So, protect the song. So something happened. The artist went to South Africa and he got a publishing deal or something. Got a distribution deal. So by the time that end, So I took into the process of publishing the music and all that. So by the time, you know how the world works now, it's a very small village. So when they pointed in the computer, they saw this guy name on the song. They were like, wow. So they came back to Nigeria and they were like, wow, how could you do that? You know, it became a very big fight. And the guy gave me a call. I said, don't move an inch because you have the right to the production, boy. So a lot of people don't understand, you know, they don't know anything about publishing. They don't know about song, you know, registering your song and copyrighting your music, you know. So people are just doing it for the fun, or you know, like doing it because oh yeah, there's money coming now. But the big business, the real business, is the publishing. Because without publishing, look at somebody like Bob Marley. Look at someone like Bob Marley. He's gone for so many years, and the children are just you know enjoying themselves because the publishing has been taken care of.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
so that aspect of that aspect of the music business is missing, you know. But we're doing good on you know in the performances, in the videos, and we're doing very well. But the business side of it, we need to actually protect ourselves more. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, you're quite right with the publishing thing. I mean, I think Forbes the other day mentioned that Michael Jackson is the highest paid dead artist at present because of the rights.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
But amazing. We have our first caller here now. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, good evening. My name is British Mendoza.
And the one and only British Mendoza, the one that supports Double9Radio as always. Do you have a question or a comment for our fantastic guest today?
Yes, fantastic guest. I'm a fan. My favorite song is Angel of My Life. Angel of My Life is my favorite song.
Angel of Your Life is your favorite song?
Yes.
Okay, Paul, did you get that? Angel of My Life is our favorite song.
Yeah, I did, yes.
Yes.
Wow. I appreciate that.
Anyway, I just wanted to ask, I have two questions. I think in the interview I heard you say something about you being a record label owner or something like that. Or you have your record label. So, like, one, do you sign artists? And if you do, how do artists come, or how can they come across you to show you their product or what they have for you to sign them? What do you look for in an artist to sign on? And my second question is, comparing the current waves of music now and back then, what is the big difference? What do you think is the big difference of how Afro pops or Afro music is being received right now?
Okay, fantastic. Did you get it?
Good.
Okay, you got the two questions?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Playground Entertainment is a record label that deals with hip-hop music and R&B music. It doesn't matter where you're from, because we're open to all kinds of music from any country in the world. So, but basically right now we are recess, but we actually recording an artist right now, a female artist. But we also want to take it one artist at a time. But for now, we keep taking artists and we keep taking tracks from artists. And we want to work with artists that are not only like Nigerian kind of artists, but an artist that can cut across. You know, what I mean is, you know, you can do the Nigerian thing, you can do the Afro hip-hop thing as well. You know, if you put it on the stage with Rihanna, you know, you should be able to do your thing. So that's why we've not actually been really seeing so many artists that can do that. You know, everybody just want to do the Afro pop thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second question, there's a difference because back then we're trying to win over Nigerians, so we were more serious. You know, we were trying to win the Nigerian audience because basically Nigerians were listening to foreign music back then. We were listening to foreign music, and so we just had to it was a big battle. You had the likes of Two-Face, Blackface, Faze, myself, Tony the Thriller, Tribesmen, Azados, Remedies, so everybody. So everybody was like, yeah, we need to get this done. So people were more serious back then. But today, I'm not the kind of person that want to knock the industry because I'm still part of the industry.
Yeah.
But music more is like it seems that the fans are okay with the kind of lyrics that they hear today. They're okay with the, some even come up to say that where they listen to the beat, they're not listening to the song, the lyrics or whatever. So, it's like pretty much one of the songs are lyrically sound the same, but it's still doing the work. It's still getting the money. It's still making big stars. So it's difficult for you to say, well, this is, what we were doing back then is better than what we're doing now. But the difference is that we were more serious. We're more lyrically strong. We're more focused because we wanted to convince the audience. But now that there's social media, back then there was no social media. If you recorded a song now, it's going to take, like, if you recorded the song in Lagos, it's going to take like 6 to 8 months before people in Calabar get to listen to it.
Wow.
But now, if you drop a song in Lagos, somebody in China,
yes,
in Guangzhou or whatever, is going to get it just that minute. So you cannot compare, because if we had this thing that they have now, if we had it back then, it would have been a different, and more money is made now. The artists right now, they make more money than we used to make back then.
Fantastic.
We're not really making big money back then, but now, because of internet media, because of streaming platforms, because of endorsements, because of how big, how accepted Nigerian music has become. Yeah, it's you see Nigerian foreigners in Nigerian concerts. So money is there to be made more. Fantastic. Right now. So if you want to get on, I missed something in the first question. If you want to hear that us on Playground, just go to any of my platforms. You can reach out to me, playgroundworldwide@gmail.com, because our website is actually under construction right now. We're trying to put it back on. But you can reach me from any of my platforms. Yeah. Playground Worldwide. Worldwide. Okay. As in worldwide. All together. Yes, playgroundworldwide@gmail.com. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Mendoza, for the call. Keep listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I mean, that's quite amazing. I mean, I love the questions there as well.
Yeah, that was a brilliant one.
Yes. I mean, there are some questions that have come in as well. I'll try and get to them if I can. But I want to ask, if you could have a conversation with the younger Paulplay, what would that conversation be like?
Trying to be better than me, yeah.
Trying to be better than me.
Trying to beat me. You should try to beat me, yeah. Trying to be better than me, yeah.
Trying to be better than me. Okay. All right. Tell us a fun fact that no one knows. A fun fact about you.
What do they call a left-handed person?
Oh.
Yeah. I use my left to right and all that.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a fun fact. A lot of people didn't know that.
Then I have Fulani blood.
No. Is that a joke?
It's a fun fact now.
Oh my God.
The fact.
So what part is that? Who is Fulani? So you're related to Sebaba?
My great grandmother was Fulani.
Wow. So you're related to the president then, somehow?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not far. We are far away from each other.
Okay. So 2 questions. I'm going to take just 2 questions today because time of the essence. We've got about a couple of questions. Yeah. But sorry, I'm just going randomly. I'm not favoring anyone, but I'm just taking questions. Sorry if I don't read out your questions as well. Okay, the first question is Tenny from London. Tenny says, how would you describe the attitude and character of individuals within the entertainment industry?
Character. Well, I don't want to be seen as a critic or something. Yeah, back then, back then it was we were pretty much like we were trying to achieve something. So I think there was more. It was more of a kind of a collective effort to prove that we're here to stay. So it wasn't much of competition. So I think then it was the relationship was very cordial. So when we go out to perform at shows, we just hang out, because we made it, and we just chill. Nobody's actually acting like I'm better than you. But now I think there's so much of ego problem right now. It's like I've seen a situation where an artist will be kind of, I would say it in Nigeria, posing for another artist, like not wanting to roll with an artist because probably the artist is not really doing well. So we see that a lot. Then I've seen so many situations where fans call out, stars, call out artists and say, why are you doing this? And then I see a lot of back and forth, altercation and banter and rubbish going on online. Well, so back then we didn't have that. So if the fan, calls you out back then, we just chill, like, what's going on here? It's very strange. But now you see a lot of, clapbacks coming from, artists that say, well,
you're right.
I don't care.
Especially on Instagram as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so artists don't really care right now. Like the new generation now, they don't have much of patience to actually, they don't have much patience to take everything in like we do. Yeah, they ain't got that.
Okay, final question from Joyce in Stratford. If you were in a position of power, what would you change regarding Nigerian politics? Amazing. I think they'll be looking at your Instagram when, I think this person has been watching your Instagram.
Yeah. A whole lot of things. Yeah. First of all, what I would do is I don't mind fixing that power. I need to fix that power. We need to fix that power.
Important, yeah.
Because, the GDP, is actually hanging, our progress as a nation, the development, infrastructure wise or in terms of development, in terms of skill acquisition, in terms of advancement, is actually hinging on power. So because of lack of power, imagine a woman, that lives in the rural area in Lagos, like a Paja. She survives by actually grinding pepper, and there's no light. Now picture that. So I make sure that everybody's got. You see, think about what the an average or regular people in Nigeria. Think of what they do. Regular people in Nigeria. You can see the vulcanizer, you can see the welder, you can see most of their job actually, the barber, everything, that you see them doing, they will need power to survive. Make sure there's power, make sure that there's power, and make sure there's adequate housing because you see government projects saying that they're building, houses for people, and you find that these houses they are too expensive for another Nigerian to actually afford. So there are a whole lot of things that need to be changed in Nigeria, but I make sure that power is the first thing.
Fantastic, amazing, great answer to that question, Paul. It's been amazing. It's been great. I mean, I want to keep you here, till the end of the show. But I must say, I want to say thank you very much for coming on the show. I've really enjoyed myself, and I feel very privileged to actually have you on the show as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, the tracks are available on all platforms out there. So all you need to do is just, whatever platform you're on, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, make sure you're streaming these tracks. I'll tell you, I've been playing The Guardians all week as well. I mean, and also the other tracks as well. I'm actually almost learning the words to this fantastic music. So I want you to do the same. I'll make sure you're following him on Instagram as well. It's Paulplay on Instagram. Make sure you find him and do follow him as well.
Paulplay Dairo.
Paulplay Dairo, sorry.
Yes.
See, this is my excitement again. Okay. So, Paul, before you go, any final words to my listeners out there?
Oh, wow. I just want to say that they've been wonderful. I'm grateful for the time taken to listen to this wonderful program. And I also want to say a big thank you to Double9. You've been an amazing, should I say interviewer? Been
Host?
An amazing OAP. And, sometimes people ask questions, but the questions you're asking me were just so interesting that I felt very, very comfortable answering them. So it's been a wonderful time. I really appreciate all. I love Nigerians in the UK,
yes.
America, all over the world. I'm so grateful because you guys made me. So I will never take that for granted. I'll always be thankful and grateful. Thank you.
Fantastic. Hopefully after the pandemic, we shall be seeing you perform live to our audience here. I will be there, and I can't wait.
Amen.
Amen to that as well.
Yes.
Paulplay, it's been amazing. It's great. I want to say thank you again for coming on the show. Have a fantastic evening, and I'm sure we'll hear more from you in the coming weeks, months, and stuff. Thank you. Speak to you soon.
Thanks so much.